Welcome to Tuttle Talk, a part of the Real Estate Radio Network. And now, live in studio, offering you a fresh perspective. He's your local real estate and finance expert. He's part of the Common Sense Party, and he's committed to teaching you how to win in any market. Your host, Andy Tuttle.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network, where we teach you what the rich and the banks do, not what they tell you to do, and where we dispel the misconceptions of financial wellness and the local real estate market and show you how focusing on a few key principles really can free you up to focus on the other important areas of your life, like your friends, your family, and the community. It's the most important hour of radio every Sunday, 3 p.m. right here on 660 a.m. in the great state of Texas. I am your host, Andy Tuttle, with me today. I'm so excited about this. So, Bob Beaudine, I told you about him. I've told you about him the whole show. He's been called by Sports Illustrated as the most influential man in sports you've never heard of. And there's a reason you've never heard of him, and we're going to talk about that. He also wrote the book, The Power of Who. So I'm so excited to have you here. Bob Beaudine, welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be with you, Andy. Love what you do.
Thank you so much. Well, I love what you do. First, I kind of want to paint a little picture because, one, we love sports in this town. We're a big sports town, and obviously you're one of the biggest influencers in sports. So how did you even get started in the sports game?
You know, like everybody, we all have this passion of things that we like to do. I always thought, having been in executive recruiting, that I thought, gee, what if I could do what I'm passionate about plus what I'm really good at? So I kind of sat with my dad one day. My dad had started the whole field of executive recruiting back in 1967 out of McKinsey and company. And so when I sat with him one day, I kind of voiced that, which I'm trying to tell young college kids all over the country. You got to voice your dream. You got to tell people what it is. How would I help you? It's the old Jerry Maguire, help me help you. How would I do that if you don't tell me what it is you want? And so when people do that, there's some magical quality that happens, and it changes, it just changes everything because you already know everyone you need to know. So when I first started this process, I told my dad, boy, I'd love to do sports. And he says, well, what are you talking about? I said, when I do a search for a president of a manufacturing company, at the end of the search, I get a tour of the plant. If I did the head of marketing for the NBA, we'd get All-Star Weekend. What are we thinking? And he said, go get that. And I said, what? And so he actually gave me permission to go do that. And one of the problems is I couldn't give up what I had before I got that. And my dad was trying to plant in me, and what I'm going to plant in everybody who's listening today is that hidden inside the people you were given in life, those gifts in life, they can actually bridge you to your dream. And that's just amazing.
That is amazing. And when you say it's a gift, too, one, it is a gift. And when I think about the last couple of weeks, just Oklahoma, and we were talking about it earlier with Granbury, Cleburne, and just all the tragedies, and just a few weeks ago, Boston. And I talked about this on my fan page. It's like, man, precious gifts. Show appreciation for someone today, please, because, man, they're in your life. You don't have control of when they go out of it. And so make most of every moment. So when you say that, it really does hit home. And that's why I love the message of your book today. And it's more meaningful now, and it should be more meaningful now than it has been even before up to this time. And so when you talk about, though, an executive search firm, it is a major upgrade to go to the NBA, for sure. So what is the difference? What is it? Because I don't think people know, what does an executive search firm do in sports? What do you do?
So what happened is the whole industry had planned initially to kind of place the top 4 or 5 executives in companies. And then when I kind of started the whole industry in sports, up until a moment, really, we would have the Dean Smiths of the world, the Bobby Knights, just say, hey, well, the next coach should be this guy over here. And we would have the Don, of sports in any category. In pro, it could be in football. It could have been somebody, over the Cowboys mentioning here's who it would be to do it. So now what they found is that, hey, in executive recruiting, the world, what we do is we help people behind the scenes look at the 4 or 5 best people in the country who already have a demonstrated record of achievement doing the job you want. But they could, behind the scenes, look at your job. The problem is that they got a job already, and so they can't be looked at it, and all of a sudden like they are cheating on their wife or something, right? That they've all of a sudden looking at something that's disloyal for you to look at anything else. But for the right people, the right challenge, the right growth, the right opportunity, the right money, then what happens is I can all of a sudden become a dream maker for them and get them into some job that they really love.
That is a dream maker. That's exactly what you are in more ways than one. So what does it look like when you are, I guess then, what is a typical day for you right now? I mean, you've got the Eastman Beaudine, and then you have the Power of Who stuff. What does a typical day look like for Bob Beaudine?
You know, it's so exciting. On one side, I'm a grandpa and have 3 daughters and have a whole life there. And then I'm going to be married 30 years this year, so really excited.
30, congratulations.
Thanks. I am my number one who, my wife Cheryl. So so very exciting. Number 2 is I have this firm that's what we do is we're doing work right now for Formula One racing, or we're just finished doing something. I just put in the head of sales and marketing for Michael Jordan and the Charlotte, Bobcats, or I'm just finished a search that we did for Phoenix Speedway. So we do those, and we're out finding candidates who are currently doing that job for head of communications, chief operating officer, presidents of teams, and all of that kind of stuff. And then the other side, which is totally synergistic to that, is the Power of Who is out trying to help people voice their dream, tell you that your current circumstances did not disqualify you from dream. That's what people do. We have so many people today, 23 million people are out of a job, and they don't know where to turn, so they can't, they only know one thing, and that's networking. And of course, networking is just faceless websites, handing out business cards to strangers and sending in Dear Recruiter letters. And of course, Dear Recruiter, that's an oxymoron. So.
Yeah, that's right. So, and I want to get to that, and I want to do a deep dive here in this next segment, too, about the book and how that kind of lays over what you just talked about and how it can really help people. Because, people do feel stuck. They're like, man, I got to do the same networking, got to do this and that, and they just lose a little bit of hope.
Oh, yeah. We have a hopeless situation all over the country because we've been taught that friends in business are taboo. So let me get this correct. We're supposed to work with people we don't know and don't trust. So that's just crazy. And because of all these Ponzi and Madoff schemes, I got to disclose, Andy, yours and my friendship is evil instead of declaring it as great. And of course, that's ridiculous. Today, you need a friend. We're in a crisis today. Crises don't come suddenly. They come subtly, as you know. And one of the most important aspects here is the crisis is we have lots of friends, no friendships. So when something happens in your life and you get hit, the great philosopher Mike Tyson, he used to say that everyone has a plan until they're hit. Yep. Dang, he might be smarter than we thought. And so what do we do when you're hit? Well, people all over the country won't turn to their friends. And so they turn to this thing called networking, and of course it's not working.
That's right. Yeah. Networking is not working.
Right.
That is exactly right. So let me tell you one thing that is working. The Rangers. They are on point. They're on fire. I know you have some details. Now, what do you think? Because, they go to the championship game, championship twice. Got so close. But then typically everyone said, man, you're going to fall after that. There's just no way. Because, you ride that high and it's not going to be sustainable. And then they had obviously a lot of turmoil last year. And then this year they're playing a lot of team baseball. What do you attribute that to? What's going on?
First is great leadership. Of course, it always starts at the top. And of course, with big names like Nolan Ryan, who are just awesome. And then you got probably I consider the greatest GM. It's superstar in John Daniels. So we have this farm club, and if the Rangers are going to be really, really good for a number of years if you see all these kids coming up. But if you look at the average age, you look at all the injuries and all the things, it's just unbelievable. You got Beltran, Andrus, and you're sitting with Kinsler, but you got Profar coming up behind, and then dang, Moreland's playing out of his mind. We all of a sudden switch in, and Brzezinski is one of the great finds of all time, and then we added Lance Berkman, who beat us. The dang guy beat us, and so we actually just took him, right? It was fabulous. So then,
that's right.
Then you got Cruz and Murphy, and we have this Leonis Martin, who's just spectacular in center with Gentry. And so what's so shocking to people is what a change it is in our pitching, right? Darvish. I mean, John Daniels and his staff saw every single high school game he ever pitched.
What? I didn't know that.
Every single thing he's ever pitched. So the pitching, so it wasn't like we didn't know what we were looking at, and no one else really understood the who thing, right? You and who. I mean, this whole thing is like one, and they understood it. And so when they went to do this, a fabulous job. And so, with Harrison going down, I don't know. The Rangers are looking really, really good. I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, man, I am too. I think a lot of us are. I know Gabe is. He's getting excited right now. He's like, man, I want to.
That guy just exudes excitement.
I know.
How excited was when I came in here?
The cameramen are excited.
Just talk to you every morning for like 5 minutes. Is that cool?
There's got to be a way to do that.
Call you on the way to work.
Okay, you're listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. My special guest today, Bob Beaudine, CEO of Eastman Beaudine, and also the author of The Power of Who. And that's what I want to get to next, because I tell you what, it's a phenomenal book. And there is so much in this book that you want to hear, that you need to hear. And you would think, with all the plethora of networking books and this and that out there, that we already had this down, but we don't. There's a contrarian view. There's a better way. Bob's going to show you that way next. And we're back. Welcome back, Dallas. Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network. My special guest today, Bob Beaudine, author of The Power of Who. We've been talking with him about sports. I had to get some information about the Rangers, but now I want to go to a deep dive about how you can change your life, make a difference in your life, and impact others in a powerful way while you bring each other up to a whole new level. Bob, welcome back to the show.
Hey, great. Thank you.
Great. So, Bob, before we get into some of this book stuff, all of this is so much, it's so dense. I know you speak all over the world, right?
Yeah, it's just been crazy. Cape Town, South Africa. I just spoke actually to 3 million people live in Iran. I mean, what's staggering is that, the people of Iran, there's 60% of the whole country is under the age of 30, and they are just seeking out hard time. They don't even know who the Shah was in all that time, so they're seeking out friendship. And so the opportunity right now to have a major difference in all of Iran is I think it's historic.
So you're bringing the Who message?
Absolutely. We're bringing that message because when people start to see the opportunity that we have, building just, 2 people together, friends sticking up for each other. And of course, they've never had that. Yeah. And they're always looking over their shoulder. And so the issue now is if we can actually teach friendship, and there's rules of friendship, obviously a code of conduct. And of course, in my book, I try to show 12 rules of new friendship. Well, obviously a friend is different than an acquaintance, right? A friend helps you now, an acquaintance wishes you well.
That's really good. That's really good. So would you say, because the solution, Power of Who, that's what you're bringing. How was the reception there?
Oh, it's just been staggering. I'm doing another segment coming up, in a month. And so it's like they want to have 7 shows in a row just to kind of fulfill it. But the response that you get, because you get live comments back, right? They're actually on with you on TV. I mean, it's unbelievable.
What's unbelievable with that, and I want you to hear this, Bob, we just said, in Sports Illustrated, the most influential man in sports you've never heard of. You've never heard of Bob, and look what an impact he's made in life. You can search for fame and everyone hears of you, but you don't make a difference. Or you can let everyone else be the hero and you can make an actual difference and focus on the eternal, focus on relationships, not on the stuff. Bob, would you agree?
Oh my gosh, we were created for relationship. We were created to serve and help others achieve great things. Zig Ziglar, one of the great people who was a friend of mine, and I love his son, Tom Ziglar. You know, he died this past year, and I mean, it's a huge loss to our country. And one of the things he said, if you make other people's dreams come true, you know, your dreams would come true.
That's right.
I mean, it's the contrarian view. It's giving. And that's what I love about your industry as a whole. I mean, the whole industry is an opportunity to help people find their home. I mean, my gosh, that's American. That's the American dream, that I could have a place of my own with my family. And of course, all the people who are in this industry, you know, all the people surrounding it actually play such a role, okay, not in their job per se of saying this is it, but in their job of it being an advisor, being someone who's an encourager, someone who opens a door. You and I hold the keys to our friends and family's goals and dreams.
That's so powerful. That is honestly, that's why I love this business. I heard Barry Abib years ago. I heard him speak, and he said, you know, you can just here to do loans, or you can take it as the opportunity to be a door knocker on someone's life. You know, when you're lost in the car and you're like, man, here, and somebody comes up to your door and goes, Take 2 lefts, take a right, and you're there. And you're like, oh my God, thank you. That's a great way to put it. We hold those keys. And that's what I'm so passionate about. So I'm in this business, and I know you're so passionate about what you do, and I love it. Guys, the first 5 people, go to the fan page, facebook.com/Tuttle Talk, and say, I've got who. You're going to get a free personalized signed copy of the book, The Power of Who. And I will have Bob sign it. I know he will with pleasure sign it because he loves this stuff. And we will get you that. So go to the fan page and say, I've got who. And we'll get you that to the first 5 people. For everyone else, you can go to powerofwho.com to get the book.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you can also go to our website to get that book as well. So you got this idea, I would imagine, through your work in the sports world, right?
Right.
So how is that? How did that birth come to write this book from there?
My dad was out of a job for 8 months when I was young. Every single day he would get dressed in his suit and go out to work. And then he would, after we went out to school, he would circle back in and do his job search. Because, he didn't want us to be scared. It was a different generation. Then I worked with my dad for 20 years. And we were taught the vulnerability of people who don't have a job, just kind of like he didn't have a home. And so my dad, if someone came into our office without an appointment, we would rush out and meet them. And we would get them a cup of coffee and bring them back into the office because my dad always told me that there's something great in everyone. It's your job, Bob, to find it. And of course, that changed everything for me. And of course, that's the issue today I couldn't call my book The Power of Friendship because I got 5,000 people on Facebook are my best friends. So I had to change the word friend to what? Your who, the people who matter most in your life. We go wide. 5,000 friends. Acquaintances, like you said, that's the difference. Real friends, you had to change the name who. The solution is The Power of Who, the book. You have it in the book. What is the strategy? You were given specific people in life. Is that amazing? To help you in ways you can't even imagine. And so what if these people are already in your life, but you're actually neglecting them, looking constantly external when it's always been internal? You're always seeking something else and missing something more. What if the diamonds in your life are your friends? You just don't see your friends as resources and conduits to your dreams. So I had a woman on a TV ask me, and she said, what if all your friends are losers? And I said, what? I said, your friends have friends. Your friends have a heart, and they want to do this. And at their time, what we always found is that people just don't like to ask for help, right?
That's right.
And so but here's my question. So Andy, if you and I are best friends and I asked you for help, would you help me?
100%.
Why would you deny me the same joy of helping you? See, it's contrarian again. Our problem is that your friends want to help you. But I haven't talked to my friend Bob in 8 years. Listen, there's a phenomena. Once someone's taken a place in your heart, they never leave.
That's a powerful phenomena. Something people don't think about. It's pride. Does it? People don't like asking for help.
Oh yeah, it's and it's just this concept that says, hey, they're so vague in what they want, so you can't get your friends to tell you what is it you really want. So they say to me all the time, Bob, I'd like to be in sports, and I say, what do you want to be, like a referee? You want to hand out towels to players? No, I wanted to be in the marketing department. Tell me, online there's names of people. There's actual people's name. How would you know I don't know that person?
Right.
And wouldn't I want to help you? It drops endorphins. It makes me like euphorically happy to help people. And so you think it's always influencers, and I'm telling you, it's your mom, it's your dad, it's in your neighbor, it's somebody at your church. It's somebody who's always known you and loved you, and there's a scalability of trust, and they will help you if you'd ask them.
You're listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. We're talking with Bob Beaudine, CEO of Eastman Beaudine, and the author of a grassroots new movement on changing the way we connect with others called The Power of Who. You can pick it up at powerofwho.com. You can also go to our website or the fan page to get copies of that. It's kind of like when you say that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or 6 degrees of separation, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's you are one person away from your dream. I mean, your grandfather taught you that if you had one true friend, you were so blessed. But if you had 3, oh my gosh, you'd be rich. What if we had 12? I believe we changed the world. Of course, hey, that's from the very beginning. I mean, that's not like a new concept. Jesus had 12 friends, 3 close, 1 best. Everyone knows who he is. 2,000 years later, the guy's still signing new recruits, still doing deals. He's still doing deals.
That's right. He is still doing deals. People don't think about that. That is a great point. So that's a takeaway from the book. What are some other key, in our final few minutes here, what are some other key takeaways from the book that people will get?
These people are in your life already. And if you want to have friends, you got to be one. So I need people today to understand that there's 5 levels of friendship today that we need to do. We need to declare our friendship. I need to tell you, hey, you're my friend. So I want people today to send a text message saying to their friend, the one person, because, we all can remember that one person who made an impact on our life. Send it to your best friend and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I wanted to tell you how much I appreciate your friendship. I love you. I mean, the issue is we're talking about your best friend here. Once you declare it, then I want you to activate it. So what good is it for friends and I never see you? I mean, you got to meet with your friends. When did we start texting and stop calling? When did we start calling our friends and stop meeting them for lunch? Once you get to activate, you start investing in your friends. That's what friends do. They say yes. And then once you activate it, guess what you get to do? If you declared it, you activated, you invested, you get to empower your friends. You get to tell them things about their life and help them in things. They will open the door and tell you here's where their problems are. And if you get to do that, you get to do life with friends.
That is one of the best ways I've heard relationships really summed up, because in all things you do, you're either if you are not in the process of connecting, you're disconnecting with someone all the time, and then you're not activating, you're not investing, you're not empowering. But that's an opportunity you have every day. And my favorite part about that is if you haven't done this in a while, guys, listen to what Bob said. It's not too late. You have people that have a place in your heart and you have a place in theirs, and it's not going away. It's not dead. It's dormant. So here are the things. Take it away. Connect. Activate that. Invest in people. It's about being a giver. Stop. Don't buy the lie that you got to take. Give until it hurts, and then give some more. And you can empower other people, and they will love you for it, and you will make the deepest connections you can in life. And that's the best thing you can do with your life. More than anything else you can do is make an impact in someone else's life.
It's so good, and listen, if you just take it from, and it's so rich in your life. But hey, when I started going less is better, and started going deep, everything changed. My business quadrupled. It just quadrupled, and so will yours.
It doesn't just matter about your personal life, guys. Like he says, it goes into business. It goes in every aspect of your life. It'll make you richer in so many ways, and in monetary and in business. It will work for you. Bob, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for letting me be on the Tuttle Talk.
That's right. Tuttle Talk, not Tuttle Listen, people.
Yep.
No listening here. The book is The Power of Who. Pick it up or be the first 5 to go to my fan page and say, I've got who. We will get you a personal signed copy of this book, and we will get it to you immediately. It's so great to have you here. I hope you've enjoyed this hour. I've enjoyed especially the last 30 minutes. The first half an hour was with Gabe, so it was just okay. I'm kidding, buddy. I love you so much. You mean so much to me. I love it. So, guys, carry the load. Going on today and tomorrow. If you're in the military, you love the military, go to carrytheload.org. You can look it up. You can Google it. We're walking. Team Blackhearts will be there, and we will be walking and carrying the load for our military friends, fallen soldiers, and otherwise. So come out there, join, or just give your time or your money. And if you want to check out, if you can qualify for a loan, if you want to see where you're at, go to yourmortgagereview.com, and we will get you with a consultant, get you a copy of your credit report, and make sure you get taken care of. I'd like to thank my expert contributors today, and of course, Bob Beaudine. I'd also like to thank Dan Bradford, our producer, and all of his patience, because I know we're running long. That's it for today. Tune in next week. We'll be back here with more great advice and great content for you, and I may even talk a little bit. Thank you so much for joining us on Tuttle Talk, where we're making financial intelligence a priority in the community. Have a great day.
You've been listening to Tuttle Talk on 660 AM The Answer. You can reach Andy at 214-736-9696. That's 214-736-9696. Or email him questions@andytuttle.com. Don't forget to become a fan of his show by going to facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. You can also catch previous shows by going to andytuttle.com.